Hi, my name's Melissa Flores, and I'll be presenting my Design 3 Greenpoint Middle School project. This project was kind of challenging in many ways because it was the first project we were kind of tasked to build within like real codes and zoning ordinances. So we could not go past a certain height. We had to adhere to setbacks. We had to kind of deal with real life problems that we haven't designed for up until this point. To start, we had to kind of develop a massing scheme, and my massing scheme was in essence this rectangular box that was 100 by 150 feet, which was the lot size, and then I kind of extruded it upwards 100 feet, which was the max we could go up to. From there, I kind of used a setback to justify the carving of my rectangle. So as you can see, this kind of carving here kind of starts back here where the setback is, and I kind of incorporated this move to kind of influence my building. So this kind of carving, I start carving here so that you can get to the carving there. And I thought that that would be a great way to include vertical circulation. So I kind of carved the carving itself too. So it became this kind of ramp, which would turn into a stair eventually because I don't have enough run, again, because the lot size is so small. But the run would kind of go up this way, and then again it turns into the setback. The setback itself becomes a form of vertical circulation, and then I would grab this piece, subtract it, carve it, and make it a stair, and then another stair that kind of comes here, gets carved, and becomes a form of vertical circulation. So my whole project kind of revolved around this circulation path that gets carved and rotated so that you can kind of see that the prominent feature of my massing would become the circulation. I'll just run through my plans really quickly because of how I wanted to show the circulation. In essence, I have two main forms of circulation. One is this exterior form, which kind of happens here as you go up. But for right now, I'll kind of show you how it goes to the basement. You enter through these main doors, you kind of get this kind of little lobby space. From there, you have 3 bars of like service, I like to call it. Here mostly happens fire escape, elevator, and bathrooms. I try to keep it on this side, while the center part and floors above become like special area spaces where the science room, art room, and music room happen, and then in this kind of zone, classrooms happen and an auditorium. So if you go down these stairs, you kind of hit this this lower part where the basement is. So I have this kind of like lounge hangout area. If you're waiting to go into the gym or waiting for your after school activities, you can kind of just wait here. And then you come in here and you have your gymnasium with spectator seating. And here you have locker rooms. If we come back to this kind of outside space, lobby space or lounge area, you kind of get this mechanical room back here, which is mostly for HVAC systems and things of that nature. But before you go in there, you can kind of go into the weight room, which is where I have like some stuff set up. Also, again, this bar that kind of runs through the whole building where it houses fire escape, elevator, and bathrooms. If we go back up to the ground floor, if we go up to the ground floor, we kind of come here. I use this staircase mostly as how people would get in and out of the building if you're kind of a visitor, so that you go past kind of like a security checkpoint. From here on, it's kind of the student entry. In the mornings, I'd have like security guard posted here, and like you would kind of have to go past that point so that you can further go up the stairs. From there, you go up, like I said, I carved out this kind of form of circulation so that you go upstairs, you come in through here, and then you get this kind of horizontal circulation. So like I said, I kept the standard classrooms here, I kept special classrooms here, art room, music room, science research, science. And then again, services that include fire, elevator, and bathroom. If we exit out here, go back outside and go into this kind of larger circulation, staircase, we come up here and we kind of land here and go back in here, which is where I have voids, because this is where the special classrooms would happen. And I figured that since they are special, you really want to read them in plan and section. So I gave them double height spaces so that it's prominent that here's something special going on, here's something special going on. Again, over here I have standard classrooms, and this is kind of like a learning center. And here's my auditorium. Again, this is kind of the only part that violates that strict like 3-bar thing that I have going. So here's service, standard, special, and standard. And I used to have like a cafeteria that turned into standard classrooms that then turned again into the auditorium, just because of how it's shaped. The geometry kind of suits more of an auditorium feel than a kind of classroom feel. From there we go back outside to this other stair that leads up to the floor above it, where I have this kind of interior-exterior space. There's a cantilever that goes above it, which I'll show you later. You kind of go in here. Here's library. Here are library book stacks, and then again another computer classroom. If you exit out here, you go into this kind of other space where it houses the standard classrooms. And again, the auditorium needs double height spaces, so I put a void here, but I put a mezzanine here so that students can look down at the performances if they're just passing by, or you can go back out here, and then I have a staircase that leads to the roof. Once you land here, you get to this kind of roof that I eventually wanted to turn into a roof garden, but for now I put in kind of concrete so that you read it as someplace you can walk. From here I come into the library. There's just this kind of like vestibule area where I have little couches so you can read and stuff like that. And then a bunch of study tables and computer desks. It's mostly like a digital library, and again, I have a double height space since it has it's categorized as a special kind of classroom. So a double height space so you can read it very well, and again, the service bar here. Furthermore, for the facade, I decided to do this kind of floor-to-ceiling paneling that is glass through here to there, and these kind of double lines represent these fins that kind of allow it to open just enough to let air in, but also provide shading because it becomes kind of this louver that I'll explain in the next slide. But here too, since the circulation is so prominent in my design, I have a ramp here that leads up here, like I said before. It kind of comes up here and you can really read it on the facade as well. This is the back elevation of my building. Here's the first floor entrance, and then like I said, staircases that lead up and back out to the roof garden. This was the facade system I was talking about. It's floor-to-ceiling glass. The glass kind of opens up so that it allows air, but it also has this kind of internal louver that allows for airflow to come in at an angle, and it also provides some form of shading within the louver, so you can pull down this kind of shading device and not have such harsh rays during the day. Just a quick diagram of how it works. Like I said, it gets angled so you can open it and you can kind of see the wind direction flow inwards. This is kind of how I wanted to explain the ribboning in my circulation. Here's the main ramp that leads to the stair that goes back here and then up again to this kind of floor. I also have an elevator here for people who cannot use the stairs. I just wanted to show it again, the circulation path through the back elevation right there. And then a couple of sections on how the gym is down here, cafeteria, the ramp again, and stairs, and how, again, I have these three main forms of, these three main bars where the program happens. I wanted to show here the double height spaces for music and library room, which also happens for the science and art room. And then kind of these larger spaces again for the library, and this stair that I designed specifically using the angle so that it kind of implies you going this way, and the lobby and kind of how it works. Again, just another section on where the fire escape is, restrooms, how it kind of all follows this very kind of strict plan that I designed. And then how the staircase here's where I was talking about where this indoor-outdoor area happens. There is this kind of slab going over it, but it is outdoors. And then you can kind of take the stair out that is outdoors again and kind of land here and then go back inside. These are some interior perspectives. I have voids going through them just so you can get a lot of natural light, both within the standard classrooms, or all the classrooms really, and within the building itself, whether you're just hanging out in the hallways and things of that nature. Again, I wanted to show the stairs, just a lot of room to really be there. You won't feel very confined, and with a lot of natural lighting coming in through the apertures. And that